Welcome back, my friends, to Walk in the Spiral of Truth and Love. I'm Bill Gisclair-Sullivan, the founder and senior director at Meditate School of Mindfulness and Sound. This space is an invitation to slow down, to soften the breath, and to listen beneath the noise, so we can meet life with presence, honesty, and compassion. These reflections that I share with you today are rooted in the SVMT Method of Transformation, a space where healing becomes possible through embodied awareness, nervous system safety, and the resonance of truth. Today we're exploring something that may sound like a spiritual idea, but is also deeply physiological. Authenticity. Authenticity is a big word. It gets used a lot and oftentimes overplayed. But from our perspective, authenticity isn't performance, it's not branding, and it's not a slogan. We speak it as a frequency of truth. The state where your nervous system, your body, and your choices begin to align again. So take a breath with me. Let your shoulders soften, and let's walk this spiral together. The spiral of truth and love. On my journey of transformation, coming out of the darkness, the space I was in, of faking it till you make it, of self-sabotage and all the things that so many of us can relate to, there was a moment when something in me changed. Not because I tried harder, not because I became more impressive, and not because I perfected myself by far, but because I stopped pretending. I stopped bending into the shapes that weren't mine. I stopped living like a chameleon just to belong and fit in and be accepted. I stopped chasing someone else's version of success. And when I finally chose truth over pleasing, something ancient in my body exhaled. I remembered who I was before I learned how to perform. That's when I began to understand something simple. Your body doesn't need you to be perfect. It's not asking for perfection. It's asking you to be true. In my teachings in the SVMT Method of Transformation, I treat authenticity as more than a personality trait. I treat it as a state of inner congruence, when what you feel and what you know and what you live are all moving in the same direction. It took me a long time to get there, but when it happened, at first it felt foreign. I was unsure. But then when I paused long enough to listen, I felt the truth. But this alignment tracks faster than your mind can explain. When you betray your inner truth, when you constantly swallow what you need to say, when you override your own sacred no, and when you keep smiling while your body is bracing, your system receives the signal that something's off. Maybe not morally off, or maybe so, but physiologically off. And the nervous system interprets this misalignment as a threat. And it's not always dramatic, but it is consistent. The body begins mobilizing, bracing, and preparing. It shows up as short breaths, tight jaw, the diaphragm becoming less fluid, the fascia that's holding tight and dehydrated. This isn't just emotional, it's biochemical. When the nervous system is under strain, the stress response rises. Cortisol and adrenaline can increase. Heart rate variability often drops, and the body spends more energy scanning and protecting than it does repairing and restoring. It's unsustainable. So authenticity isn't self-help. It's actually nervous system hygiene. It's the difference between a system in coherence and a system that's in chronic guarding and preparing and bracing. And here's what makes this even more interesting. The brain loves prediction. It's constantly trying to reduce uncertainty by creating a story or a plan or a posture or a role. And when you live in a role that doesn't match your truth, your system has to work overtime to maintain this mismatch. It takes energy to keep wearing that mask, to keep guarding yourself. It takes so much energy to manage other people's reaction. It takes so much work to sustain a truth that truly was a lie. It takes energy to suppress what you truly feel. And all that energy comes from somewhere. It comes from your body's reserves. It comes from your attention, from your creativity, from your breath, and from your vitality. So when you feel drained, It's not always because you're doing too much. Sometimes it's because you're being too far from yourself. Authenticity, true authenticity, restores coherence because it reduces inner conflict. You stop running two programs at once. You spend too much time running the truth inside of you while maintaining the performance outside of you. So then suddenly the body relaxes because it no longer has to defend itself against itself. That's why authenticity can feel like relief. Not because life becomes easy, but because life becomes honest. And honesty is spacious. Authenticity is also vibrational. When you tell the truth, when you speak your truth, when you walk your path of truth, your system organizes around it. The breath will deepen, the chest will soften, the fascia becomes more fluid, the voice finds its resonance, and the nervous system feels less split. Truth suddenly becomes a stabilizing frequency. It's not that the world changes instantly, it's that you become more coherent with the world, your world. And from coherence, better choices come. Clear boundaries can be set. Courage rises up. And the right yes and the right no begin to emerge naturally, not as strategies, but as alignment. This is why healing doesn't begin with a protocol alone. Protocols matter, practices matter, the tools matter, but the deeper foundation is resonance. A voice that is residing in a space of truth sounds completely different than that voice that is just faking it till you make it. Trust me, I've been there. And your body starts to trust what's congruent. Everything else feels like danger. We might not have seen it like that, but all that holding, embracing, and fulfilling an unsustainable life moved us into a space of dissonance. Sometimes we think authenticity means walking around saying whatever we feel at full volume. Now here's the truth, a gentle human truth, that sometimes people use authenticity as an excuse to be rude. Sometimes people think authenticity means walking around and speaking your mind and whatever you want to say at full volume, but that's not the practice. Authenticity isn't impulsive, it's honest, but it's also kind. It might sound like, I need a moment, or this doesn't feel aligned to me, or I don't have the capacity for this, or I want to be real about something. And if you've ever spoken a simple truth like that and felt your body relax afterward, even if the conversation was uncomfortable, you know what I mean. Truth doesn't always feel easy, but it always will feel clean, honest, aligned. So, I invite you to pause with me for a moment, to lean into a somatic inquiry, to think about how this message feels. So pause for a moment. If you can, just pause and close your eyes or soften your gaze. Then place a hand on your heart. Take in a comfortable breath and exhale nice and slow and easy. And just sit there for a moment thinking about how you feel and allow this question to echo through you. Where in your life are you spending energy being who you're not? Where in your life are you spending way too much energy being who you're not? Don't rush the answer. Don't even think about it in words. Allow your body to respond in sensation. Where are you spending energy being someone who you're not? And notice if there's tightening somewhere, bracing or heaviness, or maybe a quiet sadness. Don't force change, just be aware. And if it's not there, that's okay. But then ask yourself, what might shift in your body if you choose truth today? Just one honest truth. Not the whole life, just one step. One honest step. Let that be small enough to be real. And notice, does your breath change as you consider it? Does your chest soften or tighten? Does your jaw clench or loosen? The body often answers before the mind, and if it tightens, it's telling you it needs to be set free. And if it softens, it says, yes, please. Authenticity. This is what we're focused on. True, vibrational authenticity. So take in a nice, comfortable breath. Exhale with a little bit of a sigh. And then reflect on this truth. That authenticity isn't only psychological, it's vibrational. When you speak truth, the voice finds resonance. When you live truth, the body finds coherence. This is why sound and vibration become powerful allies in authenticity work, because vibration reveals what's held. A bowl on your tummy can show you where you've been bracing against feeling. A tuning fork on the sternum can invite honesty into the heart space. A low, steady hum can soothe the vagus nerve enough for the truth to rise gently rather than erupting. Sound doesn't force authenticity, but we all know those songs, those sounds that make us feel so good. It shows us that sound and vibration aligns with the truth. Sound can create the conditions for the nervous system to feel safe enough to be real. And when safety returns, truth becomes possible without collapse. This is our practice. So if you're open to it, and you're in a space where you can dive deeper, I invite you to come on this meditation with me. Or perhaps you need to come back to it later. But I invite you to try it. Once you find yourself in a position to receive, I invite you to just settle down. I call this returning to your authentic frequency. Once you settle down, if it feels comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze or just allow yourself to let go of the gripping and allow your body to be supported. Bring your awareness to your breath. No forcing, no fixing, just inhaling and exhaling. Feel your body breathing. And then imagine your breath moving through the body like gentle tuning waves. Tuning up, tuning in. And with every exhale, just allow any tension to release by 1 degree. One time. Just a little bit softer. And as you continue to breathe this way, allow your body to continue to guide you deeper and deeper into a space of relaxation. And then bring your attention to the heart space, your heart space. And as you breathe into that heart space, think about how it feels. And then silently repeat to yourself, I choose truth. I choose truth. Not as pressure, but as choice, as permission. Breathe into that space and let those 3 words echo through you. I choose truth. And as you allow that energy to settle within you, I wonder if you could feel or sense or know what truth in you has been waiting to be honored. What truth has been waiting to be honored? And let the answer come as sensation first, maybe warmth or tightness, maybe a memory or a word or a feeling or a tone or a person or a place. And whatever arrives, just let it be enough. What truth in you has been waiting to be honored? And whatever this truth is, offer it a simple welcome. You belong. I see you. Now imagine that truth moving through your body like a clean river, a beautiful mountain stream, restoring coherence to where you've been split. As you feel that energy moving through you, allow the breath to open up the ribs, allow your shoulders to soften and your tummy to be gentle, and see what's there. And if there's fear, allow it to be there too. Authenticity doesn't require fear to disappear. It only asks that fear not be the one driving. Allow courage to show up. Allow worthiness to be there as well. And as you allow yourself to be with the energy, ask this question. What is one honest step that you can take today that would bring you closer to your truth? What would bring you closer to your truth? What step? Let it be small. Let it be doable. And always let it be kind. Think about what's there. And don't try to force a thing to be there. If there's nothing, it's okay. And just rest here for a few breaths. Allow yourself to just let this message echo through you. It all belongs. You belong. Truth belongs. And when you're ready, allow yourself to gently return, to get a sense of the room around you, to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And if you close them, open your eyes softly and just rest here for a moment. Let this message move through you, that authenticity isn't a performance. It's not a destination, but it is a homecoming. It's the moment that your body stops leaking energy into proving and pleasing and begins to return that energy to you, your truth, your energy. Because this truth isn't just a concept. It's a physiological state. It's an energy. It's a vibration. It's a resonance. And when you live in alignment, your system begins to reorganize around coherence. Your breath, your fascia, your heart, your nervous system, all start to move in the same direction. Here's another truth. You don't have to become a different person to heal. You don't have to change your whole life to be authentic. You just have to become more you and be comfortable with who you are. That is the frequency of truth, your truth. To walk in this truth means to walk in love, because truth is the way. So I thank you for walking this spiral with me today. Allow this message to sit with you. May what we explored settle gently into your body, not as another thing to fix, but as a deeper permission to be real. Because when, if not now, when will you ever have this opportunity to show the world who you truly are? This is the heart of the SVMT Method of Transformation, a journey to meet yourself with truth, a journey of regulating with presence, a journey of letting your life reorganize around coherence and love. This is our journey. This is the spiral. And if you ever feel called to walk the spiral of truth and love with us, I invite you to join us in the SVMT Method of Transformation. Or join me back here next time. And until next time, always remember, love is the way, truth is the path, and we walk it together. I'm Coach Bill Sullivan, and it's been my honor to share this message with you today.